Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside, perhaps in the rain. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Wednesday, August 12, 2026, and this right here, the thing that you are watching, well, it's got a name. We call it the TNAM Daily Show. TNAM stands for the New American Media, larger. The new American media, because the old American media has failed you. Did I preload the one? Yeah, I guess today could be a TNAM PM show, but we're just calling it the TNAM Daily Show. Doing the program in the evening. By the way, coming soon, Strictly Football Season 3, I believe. Just got to get that squared away. Strictly Football Season 3, hopefully coming soon. Football this week, first week of practice. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you played football growing up. This is such a special time. This is such a transition. That whole summer of just grinding. Exhaustion. Early mornings, workouts, pushing yourself, getting up early, staying up late, or whatever it was. But yeah, this is when everything started to matter. This is when everything started to, the fruits of your labor were seen. I have a neighbor that said, hey, anybody want some fresh made salsa? Harvested a ton of tomatoes. My garden has been not great. Not great. I'm still awaiting a potential bumper crop of potatoes. Grapes were a bust. Mulberries. Mulberries were the best I've had. The best season that I've had. But it wasn't that much. I mean, I had a game plan to harvest the berries this year. Missed out on the berries in the other location. Missed out on 4 peaches. Missed out on the whole first batch of tomatoes that the critters got. Yeah, I've been growing things, and the universe has been enjoying them. Maybe there's some wisdom in that. Maybe that's emblematic. Maybe that is a microcosm for what we've been doing at the New American Media. We've been growing things for you, hopefully. Everybody hit the thumbs up button, hit like, share the show with a friend, by the way. But yeah, we've been doing our part, and y'all have been feasting. Yeah, that's how the garden has been this year. It's been tough. But, that's what he did. He made a whole bunch of salsa. There's a time to harvest. And this time of year with football, it's like it's time. It's time to do something with what you did. Look back on the past couple of months, 3 months. How far have you come along? Where have you been? Where are you at now? Reflection. How is your garden? Tell me in the comments. Question of the day. QOTD. How is your garden this year? Rob in the chat saying, cool, I'll bring my donuts and coffee. All right. I'm in a no donut zone. But you have at it. I'm going to have some coffee. By the way, out of a mug, the New American Media. If you want some merch, mugs are $40. Wooden Ohio made sets of 4 wooden coasters for the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, $30. Ohio shaped or circle shaped. Pins are $25. Both sets of the coasters for $50. It includes shipping. Or if you want all 4, shoot me $100 on Venmo with your address. Tell me what you want for merch, and I will get that out to you probably tomorrow. We move merch fast, and we want to make sure everybody has. Yeah, I've heard this is the premier dunking cup for donuts. I don't know, maybe unconfirmed. I can confirm I've never dunked a donut into that cup before, so it's possible it is. I haven't ruled it out. So on today's show, let's talk about only 10 of 212 House Democrats signing a capitalist pledge. I don't like those odds. 10 of 212. Yeah. Since when did putting yourself out there to try things, to create things, to make something of yourself, to risk take, to build, that's America. It's not to sneak in and steal as much as you possibly can from the idiots inside that are letting you do it. It's just supposed to be a place where you can build some stuff. You know, and the ask back from the government is just, look, I'm going to try pretty hard not to have to ask for anything. Where's that? Where's that shame? Where's that balance? People sometimes need some help. I don't think that should mean for a vast majority of the people who are professional takers, unless you're in some very unique, catastrophic scenario with mobility or mental issues. And by the way, there's a good case to be made that we should be going into the NIMBY, not in my backyard, adjacent areas, and building some housing with some facilities for people with physical disabilities, for mental disabilities. Go out into the desert, go out into the vast plains of nothingness and just build a really cool facility and help some people. You know, look, like our society has a little bit of room for a little bit of compassion. What's that Elvis song? A little less conversation, a little more action. But when it becomes a way of life, when it becomes just a constant, every area that you can possibly grab and take from, you start to need a government so big that it becomes so intrusive that week to week, you're just wondering, how in the world did that get to that price? Why is gas $4 a gallon? Why are the groceries $400 for 4 bags of groceries? Why are the property taxes going up again? And you just kind of keep looking around at a system that it can't survive if it's being professionally looted. And that's what's happening. Non-governmental organizations, nonprofits. And by the way, a lot of them, they said, a lot of them are fine people. A lot of them. But there's a lot of scammers, professional heist professionals, vultures. If there's meat on the bone, I shall pick it off and remove it. You know, that's why you don't add too many people to your group at once, because when you add millions of people with no commonality, didn't grow up here, you know, your families don't know each other, your kids are in the same school and you live on the same street or you go to the same church, or some sort of continuity. You can't just open the warehouse gate and just say, help yourselves, with a bullhorn and watch people run in. And it's like watching one of those game shows. I never used to watch those game shows, but they'd be in like the supermarket something. Did you ever watch those? But America's just been in this weird free-for-all. And by the way, it's interesting watching the snake eat its own tail. Did you watch the results flip out of that commie spot for an establishment person because the commies are going to be too easy to beat? But only 10 of 212 Democrats were able to sign the pledge about capitalism. Because a government big enough to give you everything you need is big enough to take away everything you have. You're not supposed to become an atheist and replace God with current politician. But that's what y'all do. That's what some of you do. Not this audience. You guys are way too smart for that. Way too smart for that. Dina with her homemade hot chocolate, melted cocoa butter mixed in with the cocoa powder, sugar, and milk. Way too smart for that. Hizzy's in the hizzy. What's up, hizzy? Okay, I don't know why it keeps doing that. That's kind of funny. But yeah, America has to pick a direction. Communism, capitalism. Socialism, capitalism. Islamism, capitalism. Globalism, capitalism. Marxism, capitalism. Stalinism, capitalism. There's all those isms. Just set them on a shelf. Well, this one is this. Well, technically, well, they just never did it the right way this time. Well, I don't know why that's lumped in there. Okay, just set those on a shelf. Or you could try capitalism. Now, we got a weird problem going on. And I say we, but it's not like I did it. There's a weird problem going on with our debt. What are we at, $40 trillion? Like, these are unpayable amounts of debt. These are levels of toss your hands in the air, wave them all around like you just don't care. You declare a bankruptcy and you go, look, at some point, whoever this money is owed to, at some point, you're the one responsible. You loaned 40 trillion, like this is an unpayable amount of, just make it 100 billion quadrillions. While you're at it, there's no paying this back. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So the Democrat establishment is looking at their socialists, the communists, Marxist, Islamist, globalist, Leninist, Stalinist. And they're going, oh boy. They're winning in the party, but they are not going to win a general election. So was there shenanigans last night? I don't know. But it's interesting to consider the possibility that the snake could start eating its own tail. Perhaps. So we're going to talk about those dirty Democrats. Communism is on the 2026 midterm ballot. It's a tough to say phrase. Communism is on the 2026 midterm ballot. Choose wisely. You can vote your way into socialism, but you have to shoot your way out. It's incompatible with the Western way of life, with our civil liberties. The isms are incompatible with our governing documents, our playbook, our rule book. You can only run so many fancy plays in the NFL or for a high school football team. You have to make sure your plays are allowable within the group of rules for the sport. You can't reinvent everything. Socialism, or the politics of greed, the politics of power, the politics of violence, the politics of limited choice, coercion, brute force, oppression, starvation, genocide. Yeah, I'm good on that, dog. I'm going to cast that out to the winds. Deuces. I'm out. And for these reasons, I'm out. I'm out. So, yeah. Democrats. It's what, 80 days away, 85 days away, the midterms? Republicans went on a break for about a month. Pretty fantastic. All right, Hizzy, you're a newcomer, or are you somebody with a different account under a different name? Do I know you, Hizzy? I know Rob. I know Dina. What is this? High priority nuclear codes broadcasting right now. I'm listening to them as we speak. Could be a drill, but these ones are unusual. All right. Could you elaborate on that? And that's what's going on here on the TNAM Daily Show. We have conversations. My name's Brian. I'm going to be your bartender today. At the end of my shift, I'm going to slide you the tab. It's going to be $0 and free cents, but there will be a tip line. I'm a bartender. I work off tips. If we hang out for a while and you have a really good time, please consider supporting your boy. Just like if I served you a hamburger and hung out with you for an hour, you know, a 5 spot, a 10 spot, a 20, a 50, you know. That is how we roll. In this bar, we turn around and we look at the television screens and we talk about what people are talking about. We can agree to disagree. That used to be the name of this damn program. Now I've sort of reserved that for the one-on-one conversations with guests. This show is supposed to be a hangout spot. We're in the bar. We're talking. You know, the Green Dragon Tavern, where they talked about the Boston Tea Party. They'd had enough. They got together in the pub and they talked. And they drank and then they talked some more. I don't know. Do we still get together and talk like that anymore? How rare is it that we talk to our neighbors? Not super common. But that's what we're doing here. We're hanging out and we're talking. Is he telling us something about nuclear codes? All right. Maybe there's a story there. Maybe it's just chatter. I don't know. But we're adults. We're allowed to talk about stories. I'm just showing you stuff that's on the TV. I'm not saying I agree with it or that I disagree with it. In fact, I will ask you many times throughout most shows, question of the day, type in the comments. Do you agree or disagree with this? Trying to get your conversation, trying to get your thoughts on the matter. I don't want to just talk the whole time. All right, what is this? About the codes, we have some military aircraft, 2 above the U.S. turn off their transponders. 2 flying from EU over Israel also turned off transponders. Are you on X, Hizzy? If so, do you have any stories you could share and tag at American_media_? Because then we could share those and try to work some of that stuff onto the show. Something we haven't talked about. The other assassination attempt on President Trump while in Turkey, when Iran tried to shoot down the plane, Air Force One. And some people were laughing at that. I saw people mocking that latest assassination attempt. There's been some strange stuff in the sky. And now there's a new Air Force One, but can we trust it? And why did we switch planes? Well, apparently the president got on the other plane with catering. And all the press reporters were on the Air Force One plane that was allegedly, potentially, at a higher risk of being targeted while leaving. These are very high stakes games that are being played right now. This is life and death stuff. This is generational. It's monumental. And so what else is going on with August 12 with some portal or no portal or manifesting or something like that? Curious about how all that is panning out. But I'm curious about 100 stories. So let me tell you this. At the bottom of the screen, I'm putting it up here instead of trying to sell you pillows or coffee or survival seeds. I would like to make a request. If you enjoy something from this program, if you appreciate independent media for 15 years, making close to 2,000 videos, covering a lot of topics and going a lot of places, please consider supporting us on Patreon, Rumble, or YouTube under The New American Media. You can do like $1,000 a month, $100 a month, $50 a month, 100, 20, 10, $5 a month. I know I kind of went up again there. But just to kind of set it and forget it and become a sponsor of some sort to the program, it's a massive help. If anybody wants to throw silver coins into the tip jar back here, you can do so with a Rumble rant tip or a super chat tip on Rumble and YouTube on the New American Media channels. Venmo and Cash App is my name, Brian Engelman, and PayPal, fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. Those are the things scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That is how we move the show along, folks. That's how we keep the lights on at this fine establishment. But we got 100 stories on 100 TVs that we're going to have to scroll through. So buckle up, buttercups. The TNAM Daily Show starts now.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.
That's pretty great. Oh, Brian met Lil Wayne. I'm sorry, Lil Wayne. That's hard to say, actually. Lil. No, that was Flava Flav. Yeah, talked to him at a NAM convention. Asked him a Trump question, actually, because he sort of got into it on the panel, but didn't really. So gave him a chance to elaborate on it a little bit. All right, everyone, hit the thumbs up button, hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend, invite your buddies out today. Any seat that's open, invite your friends. Hit the arrow button, text it, send it out on X at American_media_. Promote the show, invite the smart kids, because we're going to talk about what's happening in the universe. Yeah, a lot of eclipse talk. Good times. All right, no music, easy. I don't want music. I'm just trying to. So yeah, this is DC Drano here. Holy crap, they said the COVID vaccine had a 12.6% miscarriage rate for pregnant women, but it was actually 82%. Fauci and his co-conspirators need to be thrown in jail. Under duress, you need to go get countervailing views on anything regarding vaccines or health or elections. Go to cdc.gov, who.int, or cisa.gov/rumor control. It's all about the spin. NBC was doing an expose saying that this is misrepresenting the situation. If you want to choose to believe that, I think See, a mistake would be something I could theoretically forgive. A mistake is something I could theoretically forgive. Knowingly and intentionally deceiving us. That's where it's sort of kind of like line in the sand stuff. And I think what Fauci was saying and doing privately and saying and doing publicly were very, very different. Fauci publicly in August of 2021.
CDC and the ACOG, the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, who used to say it is okay for them, for pregnant women to get vaccinated, to change now and say it is recommended that pregnant women get vaccinated. So it's really one of those things.
Now it's recommended. Media Research Center says Fauci in private text messages 7 months earlier. The second dose of the COVID shot could theoretically be associated with miscarriage.
That's kind of not a close call. It really is pretty clear that pregnant women should get vaccinated.
It's pretty clear. And also the second dose of the COVID shot could theoretically be associated with miscarriage. Well, he said theoretically. No, adding a weasel word behind it to say, look, I didn't really say it. I didn't technically. I had my fingers crossed. No.
The CDC.
Not buying it. Spirit of defiance. Can you get this doggone graphic off the screen? They sort of make you do that, or they'll destroy your channel. Once again, huge reason why we reach out and at least let you know that we are crowdfunded, because we can't really rely on YouTube or Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter to allow us to earn a living here. We've been silenced and demonetized so many times. It's, that's why Patreon is there, and temporarily the YouTube and Rumble stuff is working. So, but yeah, you spoke out about any of this stuff and you would just get absolutely deleted. They'd strike your account. Well, just build your own YouTube, they said. Okay. You got government coercion of the social media companies. Collaboration at the least. Violating our American values. For political purposes, using the weight of politics as a sledgehammer against your political opponents. That's pretty messed up. That's pretty messed up. No, it's a private company. Not when the White House is directing these actions. And everybody that had countervailing views to what Fauci was telling us, we were silenced. We lost jobs. We were forced to do things we didn't want to do. I had to bury 2 of my immediate family members. I mean, for the love of God. And they say like only old fat people, or those are the only ones that died of COVID. I'm like, well, my mom had she had some health concerns over the years. It did come on pretty strong though, right at the very beginning of COVID. It was maybe a week later, 2 weeks later, shortly after the world shut down because of COVID, which was mid-March, something like that. And then, yeah, a younger, healthier brother. He's not obese. He's not super old. How did COVID take him out? Well, it was double pneumonia, COVID. It was not being able to get the proper dosages of ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. And then Biden banning monoclonal antibodies. And so when the doctor was asked where would one get those monoclonal antibodies, the doctor either didn't have correct information or was too scared to send him anywhere so he wouldn't lose his license. Turns out there was somebody roughly, right up the road, relatively speaking, that could have delivered monoclonal antibodies. And it was the systematic knowing and intentional lies of Fauci, because they needed the emergency use authorization blanket protections for their medicines. If anything bad happens, we're covered, and we can kind of skirt some test. We can just kind of jump ahead of the line and just fast track this process. Warp speed, says Trump. Warp speed. But how were we to know that the data that was being delivered was fraudulent in many cases? Would that have changed how we viewed the whole pandemic? Yeah. I never understood why they couldn't just get a special exemption for emergency use authorization and allow ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, vitamin C drip, the Merrick protocols, monoclonal antibodies. Why can't we do that also? Maybe it's because of money. I don't know. Fauci's out there angling and recruiting people. He is evangelizing, asking people, "Hey, I'm up for this. It's a prestigious award. It's a special award." Put the leg lamp up in the window. Fragile. Must be French. How much money did Fauci personally make because of COVID and his rise to superstardom and, the money laundering allegations anytime someone gets a book deal or you win an award, you're paid $500,000 to go speak at hey, we'll fly you down to Tampa. Can you talk to us for 60 minutes and we'll pay you back. We'll give you $1.5 million. You made us how much through our parent corporation, and we'll just, I mean, it's all just such it's a free for all. It's a theft for all. It's like there's nobody at the counter. You're not sitting out there with the Halloween candy. You left out the candy. And the kids are turning the whole pumpkin upside down, shaking it, trying to get every last piece instead of letting everybody get some pieces. That's sort of what it feels like being in America right now. And Fauci's at the center of that. Rob, you're right. We can never forget what happened during that time. Exactly. Okay, so you're out there in Massachusetts. Hizzy, your stupid governor lady in my state of Massachusetts passed the right to get abortions just before birth, bro. Or close to it. F her. Yeah, that's a huge story. And the smiling and clapping like you just did something good. Do you know how fully formed a 9-month-old baby is? Are they fully aware of what they're cheering? That there's now no limitation? Remember Ralph Northam? We'll keep them comfortable. That whole thing was pretty much about taking care of babies that were born alive. And then you either starve them or what are other ways that you could end a life? But yeah, maybe that's what's going on right now. Americans have been convinced that the world population is booming, we're overpopulated, we shouldn't have kids. And then environmental factors, stuff in the air and the water and the food, maybe making us less fertile, and guys losing their testosterone, or the food additives or the water additives or society in general or screens or the rainwater or something being sprayed in the skies. Make us a little bit more docile. Make the women a little bit more masculine, make the men a little bit more feminine. Just like, let's just maybe balance this out a little bit. So we don't have kids. And then the boomers say, oh, well, wait a minute. Hold on. Our cushy retirement scheme only works in the pyramid style. We need more people paying into this so we can keep drawing upon it, or else it's going to go insolvent. Is it now? Oh, Oh, is it? So Americans aren't having babies. You bring in 40 million illegal alien invaders. You leave the warehouse door open. Come and get it. Help yourself. It's a free-for-all. I was recently at a garage sale that was posted that way. It was pretty cool. Pretty orderly. I was 6 minutes late on getting something that I thought would have been pretty cool. But I got a couple of cool things from that estate sale, the garage sale. It was pretty orderly. Pretty orderly. But yeah, just kind of storm the gates. You saw what happened in Spain. What is happening? This is an invasion of military-aged men. Who is coordinating this and to what purpose? What in the actual fork is going on? And are you ready? Are you ready? Spiritually, physically, mentally, financially, tactically? Are grids getting attacked? The water supplies across the country are being attacked. We know the power grid is potentially antiquated and vulnerable to EMP and similar either natural or man-made phenomena. You know, with the added bonus that just like COVID, it would be invisible. What if everything kind of went down and you got a couple million people in your general area with a game plan and a list, maybe some coordination and funding? That's fun to game plan. That's fun to strategize, right? Dina, I think, like I say, try to speak in full sentences so I can go back on this many minutes later and try to remember the point you're making. I think Dina might be saying, I remember that guy Northam talking about how after the baby's born, we'll keep it comfortable, but we'll make sure it doesn't come out of here alive, or whatever he said. But I think that's what you mean. Yeah, we're having PM pontifications. And now Deep Thoughts with Jack Handey. Jack Handey was a real person, by the way. Did you know that? Okay, Spirit of Defiance says, this is so absurd. A group of women running a women's only sports league has to hold a meeting with other women to decide what a woman is so they can determine if fake women are allowed to compete against women in a league created specifically for women. What the is this timeline? What the fork is this timeline? WNBA. Two former NBA players calling themselves trans for the purpose of basketball, and they're entering the draft. All right. Define your rules. Are you saying anybody's allowed to come on in? Then all right, have at it. Or if your chromosomes include a Y, in sports you must compete with guys. That's it. That's it. Rob says we're living in the Tower of Babel time. Yeah. And the language differences are significant. For cohesion. Yeah. How are you going to share? Like, there's something beautiful having broken Spanish conversations with people and you can try to share. But like, when you're just in an enclave and they're in an enclave and you're just like, you're two ships passing in the night, you're not like, you have no bond. I mean, it just absolutely destroys community. And that sort of is the point, to take this country down. And it's been a very coordinated effort in that. So we'll see what the WNBA does with their women's league. Okay, I'm not going to play you all of this. But are you following Tucker Carlson and Hunter Biden, their bromance?
But the story did not make sense. So I just want to ask you point blank, did you drop off laptops?
No. And this is the thing that I've said over and over again. I have literally zero recollection or memory of ever dropping off a laptop.
I have zero recollection. Could have been high as a kite. And wasn't a receipt provided, and this was handled in the store? What are they saying?
At John Paul McIsaac's. No, the answer is no.
And you've written about this for several years now, pretty conclusively, I would say. You had an amazing book on Hunter Biden's laptop, which sort of substantiates a lot of what you're saying.
John Paul McIsaac, who was, I think you've interviewed him,
Yes.
the laptop repair shop owner who had the laptop that Hunter had abandoned at his shop.
When we have shown Hunter's consent, everyone knows Hunter consented.
But the reality is this. Of what was distributed that was authentic, not a single one of them in which I say, hey, when my dad is in office or in power as vice president or president, in which I say, hey, Dad, I need you to do this for me.
And yet
Yeah, the topic never came up. The topic never came up. The one thing that you're right, it's the streetwalker chit-chatting it up with the fella in the car, rolls down his window. We're just talking sports, Your Honor. He was asking directions. I gave him some directions, pointed him that way. No, we're never going to talk about the main reason you're there.
we had on the front page an email from Hunter's Ukrainian sort of paymaster from that company Burisma, who
It was on the board pulling in, once again, look, let's 10% for the big guy. Let's overfund something here and let's kick it back as a payment through this company. But so we'll make sure that you make the sales here, then your company makes that, then you can fund this, then that can actually fund that. And then if you sit on a board, it's the complexity of the transactions. It makes it nearly irrefutable as an intentional act. Mike Polk Jr. was screaming at the Cleveland Browns stadium in a funny comedy skit. He goes, "It is statistically more unlikely that for you to be this consistently bad, than it is for you to occasionally accidentally be good. The probability is staggering." It's just like, how are you not accidentally doing the right thing? And the complexity of how this money is laundered. And you look, and we'll see. This might be the first election cycle we're going to see a broke Democrat Party. Broke. U.S. aid is gone. That was the funding money printing mechanism. It was a nonstop faucet draining the swimming pool. Why does the water keep going down? You got two hoses in, but you can't ever keep it filled up. But then again, if they're cheating in the elections, if anybody can vote, if you're still doing this ballot harvesting, I'm just going to bring in stacks of papers. And then once it's counted, good luck reversing that. Nobody has standing. Nobody could have standing in an election. Right. Instead of we all have equal standing because we're in this together, it's a mutual pact. And if we don't have any confidence in the system, where does that leave us? Rob asks, why is Biden so willing to make the rounds talking now What's really going on, and how does this benefit anyone, is what we should ask. Dina with a great point. Or Hunter could have blackout alcohol. People can black out drinking alcohol. It's a... you hear him say, I have no recollection of. So whether he did it, and maybe he was high as a kite doing it, or he's been advised to say, I have no recollection of dropping that off. That sounds better than, look, I was on so many drugs at the time. I did a lot of crazy stuff. He might have turned it into the computer shop and forgotten about it while sober and just doesn't want to look like a dunce. So he could say, I have no recollection of it. So then that means, he was inebriated. He was intoxicated. But what it's really doing is opening up the door to say, somebody else put that stuff there. Then what? That wasn't you on the videos? That wasn't you engaging in all that? Like, what was that then? And why did 51 intelligence officials lie about it? Oh, no, that thing, that's not a real laptop. That has all the classic earmarks of Russian propaganda. What people turned that into on the news? Well, we saw the 51 intelligence officials telling you that that's fake news. That's not Hunter's laptop. It's fake information. It's a political hit job. It's not even him. It's not his stuff. It's a desperate attempt by the Trump campaign or the Trump allies to try to slander. He had no business dealings with Burisma in Ukraine. If the 51 intelligence officials only said, look, this just has all the classic earmarks of Russian propaganda, misinformation, disinformation. And then the mouthpieces, the spokesholes, twist that telephone game into saying things that the deep state didn't technically say. It's like when Fauci said it could theoretically lead to a lot of miscarriages. Theoretically. Yeah, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Bro, the weasel language doesn't work on me. Read between the lines. But yeah, it's very interesting. I have no recollection. So then he could just play dumb, and if nothing else, this is his attempt to hit the tennis ball back over the net. This is what he's going with, and Tucker's magnifying this message.
Had thanked Hunter for introducing him to his father in Washington, D.C., the then sitting vice president. Hunter organized that for his father, the vice president, in a private room to meet with his Ukrainian business partners, plus Russian, plus Kazakhstanis. He did a 3-for-1 deal in April of 2015. But
okay, this just sort of goes on. It's a couple more minutes. I don't know how invested into this story I am. But
just has to show up and be charming and be the vice president for all the money to flow into Hunter's pockets.
I think it is going to be important to show the difference from 2 years ago to 2. And by the way, no, I'm not going to bash Tucker per se. Although, what is this buddy with Hunter? Like, this stinks to high heaven. I have conversations with lots of people. I haven't been doing a lot of one-on-one shows lately. I could easily get back to it. I just haven't been doing it. Talking to someone doesn't make it. Simply doing the 2 years ago and what they're saying now. Your job as an interview is to get the other person to talk. Hear them out. Hear what they have to say. Get them on the record. So then it's a time capsule
of what I call the elite oligarch Epstein class of Washington, D.C.
Yes.
That are as interested in protecting their corporate overlords as they are in protecting anything. My dad in 1972 took a vow that he would never own a stock or a bond. he retired from the presidency as having probably the lowest net worth of anyone that had ever entered the presidency.
I always wondered, how did he afford to live in a 12,000 square foot house on a Senate salary?
Well, he will tell you he was just lucky with real estate. It's just the donors, like they'd buy his houses for an inflated cost, and he'd buy houses for a lower cost. Same with Hunter. Hunter bought places, same thing. And there was just a magic carpet ride for him. Whatever transaction that he entered into, he was looked after. Hunter's sort of businesses worked, that Joe would get something. Hunter was certainly paying for some of Joe's maintenance and upkeep on his Delaware estate. And Joe lives...
And estate is not too strong. It was a former DuPont house, enormous house that Hunter grew up in.
Yes,
and
with
then,
the ballroom.
Yeah. And then I know from having friends and relatives in that town, Greenville, Delaware, that he never paid any of the workmen.
No.
Stiff the firewood guy and the landscaper and the caterer, and, they're always after him for money. Really screwed the little guy consistently and was famous in the neighborhood for doing that.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It is. Well, it is incredible. It's very low, the lowest.
The entire narrative of the Biden crime family. I mean, I literally, unlike anybody else, is like, I say to everybody, okay, show me your phone, because I showed you mine and you didn't find a goddamn thing.
But I think there's enough on the public record, a lot of evidence to show that Joe Biden was involved in the family's influence peddling scheme, that this is where the money went. It is part of a pattern of money, the money trail, and how it gets to the Biden family.
It's all convoluted. It's a shell game. Put all those lawyers in Washington and we got to have plausible deniability. Someone typed in the comments. Plausible deniability. Make it complicated where the money's going.
10% for the big guy.
In a family that I love, drives me crazy. I love. It's like everybody else. But I don't have to live a lie.
Hunter Biden, thank you very much.
Thanks.
So Joe Biden's going to get away with, probably not for eternity will he get away with it, but for the here and now, he's getting away with it.
Yeah.
But
maybe not for eternity. Yeah. So people are talking about that little sit down and the Hunter
but the story
tour that nobody asked for. Why is that everywhere? I don't know. What's up, Kenneth? Happy to see you. Dina, like Sean Ryan does, gets the interview that really portrays the person's views and personality. Yeah, look, my interviews are usually 2 to 3 hours. Like, we chop it up, and we're not going to agree on everything. And I sort of want to hear what you have to say. Occasionally, I'll feel more like talking and sometimes less like listening. But regardless, we got to kind of be savvy consumers of our media and try to figure out who we're listening to and what's the purpose. Is there an agenda? Is someone paying for them? I know, Hizzy. I thought the same exact thing. They were sitting close enough to kiss. That was right at the end. The two screens were chopped off and they were scrunched together. They were edited like that. It really was. They were like right up in each other's faces. Like, I don't know what section of Pornhub this is, but I need to keep scrolling. I got to scroll out of this. I don't know what type of role-playing fetish video category I might have stumbled into out of all the gin joints in all the world. I scrolled across this cosplaying political porn. Oh, it's awful. I swear Tucker and Hunter are about to kiss. I cannot watch, yet I cannot look away. Oh, God. Your comment's perfect, Izzy, because that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm thinking, oh, God, why are they have to be feeling nostril breath heat on each other's faces. They were like this close. But it was edited together. They were not sitting that close. At least I'm 99% certain of that. I'll leave open the possibility. I can't watch, yet I cannot look away. Kenneth, that's like something maybe lifted out of a Simpsons episode. All right. Oh, I like this. Steve Hilton running for governor in California. If California knows what's good for it and they're not allowed to cheat, then he should win. I like how he made this sign. It's set up like an in and out menu. Pretty cool. And their menus are pretty simple. Operation Zero Waste.
Operation Zero Waste.
Operation Zero Waste.
We can cut your taxes, your first 150 grand tax-free, and we're going to do that by eliminating waste from our budget. And
is this the guy that started The Office? Is this the actor, the comic actor that did The Office UK?
today we are laying out the first steps in doing that. Number one,
didn't he also host the Oscars? Oh no, that's Ricky Gervais. But if you close your eyes, they sound the same.
cancelling high-speed rail. Number two, a 5% efficiency cut across government departments. We are going to reduce the headcount of the bloated bureaucracy here in Sacramento. And we are going to reform our healthcare spending. We've seen so much evidence of the fraud and waste and abuse in healthcare spending. We are going to cut that back. These reforms alone more than pay for the cost of reducing your taxes.
Steve Hilton. I'm hoping that California gets its act together. Would I put money on it? No, I would not. In fact, I left California. I couldn't trust it anymore. I just couldn't do it anymore. But I'm hoping.
Operation.
That's what I said. I don't have a problem with a government that might have some modicum, tomato, potato, a little bit of spending, a little bit of assistance on the edges. But it has to be thought out. It has to be stuff that is going to speak to the human condition, the human spirit, to get people maybe a temporary bit of assistance, not to turn it into 40, 50, 60 years of permanent assistance. So yeah, Steve Hilton saying if you have zero waste, well, everything's going to change. Flat tax up to the first 150,000, 8%. Okay, excuse me. The first 150K is tax-free. That's the part that there were 2 points on there that I was reading. Could we really have any problem with that? I don't know. Modicum from a male robot? Modicum. Like a modem? Steve here says, the most... and by the way, enjoy the... Oh, I can't play the music. Seasons don't fear... it's Don't Fear the Reaper. Fun fact. I sat at the table with the cowbell. Backstage with Blue Oyster Cult. After the Will Ferrell sketch. Went and got some food off the buffet line and sat down, and the cowbell was there, the legendary Don't Fear the Reaper cowbell. Or is it woodblock? No, I think it is cowbell. Needs more cowbell. There's moments where it sort of sounds different. But anyway, Steve here says the most chilling part about these last 7 years is that 90% of this country cannot recognize evil when they see it. Everyone, make sure you're following the New American Media on Instagram. We need 30 followers. Everybody, please, if you don't have an account on Instagram, start one. It takes 2 minutes. And just, if you follow one account, follow the New American Media. We need 30 new followers. Friendly reminder, hit the thumbs up button on today's program. Hit the arrow to share the show on X and help us promote it. Invite smart people into the room. Copy it and send a text or a Facebook message to a couple people. WhatsApp group, Telegram group. And if you like hanging out here, please consider becoming a monthly sponsor on Patreon, Rumble, or YouTube. You can drop one-time Rumble rant or YouTube super chat tips into our tip jar back here. Venmo and Cash App is at my name, Brian Engelman, spelled at the scrolling text bar at the bottom of the screen, or PayPal fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. But yeah, the most chilling part about these last 7 years is that 90% of this country cannot recognize evil when they see it. That's tough. Hey, speaking of tough, how about getting lost in the wilderness for days? WFLA reporting.
Yo!
A spontaneous tubing trip turns into a 3-day journey of survival for 3 family members who were found in the wilderness.
Okay. Stop.
Stop. Hold on.
And yell.
Make some noise. They're just beyond that tree line.
Command, we got visuals. We're coming, guys. Do we have 3? All 3 are up.
Can you come here?
Kid says, we got lost down the river.
We went to the river.
Hi.
We went to the river, and we were on the river.
Oh my.
We're on the river, and then we got lost in the river.
You're okay now, though.
Yeah. Dude.
You're gonna be okay.
Holy man.
Life doesn't on 4 hours. Hey.
Oh my.
I said we're going too far out there.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Here, let me give you my shirt, okay?
So there's TNAM preparedness for you if you go out hiking or if you go out on a river. I mean, even if you go with a couple other people, that 3 of you could get stranded somewhere. So be very careful. I smell a future movie called Found. I have a certain set of skills. I don't know why I made him like Sean Connery. It's not what he sounds like. Tango Liberty, happy to have you. Thank you, everybody. Everybody hit the thumbs up button. Welcome in. But good. I'm glad these 3 were found after days lost in the wilderness. Yeah, that guy was breathing heavy. I know Florida can be muggy and hot. But yeah, days in the wilderness, nights in the wilderness. You don't really have a tent. You don't have food. You don't have water. Like, what do you like? You go through these preparedness scenarios in your head. You're like, well, what would I do? Well, what are you going to do if you don't have a pot? Well, you use charcoal filters and you use a piece of cloth and you filter it and then you put it through some sand and then you put it through some charcoal. But first you got to make some charcoal. So get out a can. You're like, I don't have a can. I can't put some wood in there. I can't, I'm glad they were found. I'm glad they were found. Good for them. TNAM prepared. Yeah, this guy got pulled over. No, I gotta share you some of this video. Sherwood, Arkansas. Before I share this, I mean, it looks true, and I did watch this, but let me double check. Anything could be AI. This is allegedly a flock camera in Sherwood, Arkansas that misread the license plate of an SUV. This led police to detain an innocent couple at gunpoint as her 6-week-old baby sat alone in the car seat in the back of the car in February of this year. This is one of dozens of instances nationwide where flock AI cameras have led to wrongful arrests. Okay.
Hey, driver. Hey, put your hands up and walk back to me.
By the way, when someone's saying, hey, driver, imagine you've been pulled over and this is what they're telling you to do. You haven't done anything. What?
Hey, anybody else in the car?
My daughter and my son.
Oh, how old are they?
My daughter, not my daughter, my girlfriend, my son.
Okay.
My son, he's a newborn, he's a month and a half. My girlfriend, she's 28.
Bye-bye. The reason I'm stopping you is your plate's stolen.
You said it's who?
It's coming back stolen.
It's coming back stolen. Your plate's stolen. Huh? No, it's not. What do you... Nope.
License plate. You got your ID on your phone?
Yeah, I got my wallet.
Where's your wallet at?
My pocket.
Okay.
It's not my vehicle.
Whose vehicle is
It's
it?
my girl.
By the way, I don't know if that's a crazy... I need you to vote. Question of the day. Did you catch that? Please tell me you caught that. Is it a crazy move? Or is it a boss move? He says, I'm going to need to see your ID. He hands him his entire wallet. I don't know how to answer this. You know what? I'm going to play it one more time. I'm just because this is, I'm fascinated by this.
Hey, driver.
And I didn't realize
Hey, driver.
that I was this fascinated with this move until just now. But I remember that
Anybody
I
else
saw
in the
this the first time. And
Oh, how old are they?
Not my daughter, my girlfriend, my son.
Okay.
My son, he's a newborn, he's a month and a half. My girlfriend, she's 28.
Bye-bye. The reason I'm stopping you is your plate's stolen.
You said it's who?
It's coming back.
I love his reply though. Your plate's stolen. You said it's who? No, that couldn't possibly be the retort to that statement. You said it's who? It's jujitsu. What's going on here? It's pretty brilliant.
Stolen. Your license plate.
And then he looks at it and goes, this is my license plate. I don't know. It's not stolen.
You got your ID on your phone?
Yeah, I got my wallet.
Where's your wallet?
Yeah, I got my wallet. Now he's wearing pajama pants. Wallet in the right front pocket. And you know how itchy trigger fingers. You know how testy it can be when people start reaching in their pockets. Not so good. Not so good. But by the time you realize he's doing it, he already has his wallet out, and now he's just handed the entire wallet to you. Now, is this because the dude doesn't have any money or credit cards in his wallet? Cruising around in pants and the car's not his, it's his girlfriend's? I think he said girlfriend. Or is it a boss move to hand your wallet and be like, yeah, man, it's in there. Go ahead. You got this. Why don't you go ahead and flip open the thing and then take out the thing and you take my whole wallet. I got nothing to lose. And by the way, you work for me. I'm not doing your work. Go ahead. Here, take it all. You've got it all. Is it a crazy move or is it a boss move? I don't know. I don't know.
My pocket.
Okay.
It's not my vehicle.
Whose vehicle is
It's
it?
my girlfriend's vehicle.
Okay.
Now you got a second cop showing up and you're going, what the hell is going on here?
Just come on back here. Just right now.
You're going to be detained. It's not
No, you're just gonna be detained, okay? More people in the car.
gun drawn. gun out and aimed because of flock cameras, telling these police something that is false. Now the gun is aimed at his 6-month-old child, I believe, and his wife. After the dude got out of the car, handed you his wallet, and was compliant and allowed himself to get arrested. And you're still drawing on the vehicle. Ortho says they had a rash of kids changing license plates on vehicles to cause this kind of crap. Yeah, some of that. Kenneth says that camera flocked up. Oh yeah, it flocked up real good. Is he? While he's looking through the wallet, you hop in the car and drive away. Yeah. Gotta twist the mustache into a curl at the end. Yeah. I don't know, but the dude's drawn on him and like he hasn't done anything.
Okay. You said a month and a half old in the car? No, we're just gonna come back over here, okay?
Month and a half?
You're just detained until we figure out everything out, okay? No weapons on you? No, none good.
I mean, he's being polite. They're both being polite. They're just trying to sort this out.
I got her keys in my pocket though for the trip. So.
Can I ask what's going on?
Yeah, I'll let you know. Just 1 second.
231. Can you confirm your 28?
I know you got a small baby.
214, stand by. The car was showing up as stolen, so we're just confirming.
Oh shit! No, this is my car.
Yeah, it might be a
Oh shit! No, this is my car.
mix-up in the system, so if it is,
Oh, my
then y'all will be good to go.
No, this is my car.
So she's not arrested. It doesn't look like.
I just had it stored because it's been wrecked. I had to get new tires and stuff on it. The snow, it's been put up.
Okay. Hopefully, if that's the case, he's just going to confirm.
Oh my God.
I just heard over the radio, and he was out there, and so.
Actually, sure was like he cut his lights on. I said, who cut his lights on? I didn't even know there was a police behind us.
I was en route, and they said it was stolen out of Little Rock, so.
Your license good, boss? Is your license good?
Like I said, he's going to do his due diligence.
I got my registration and stuff in there if you want to see.
Is it in the glove box?
It's actually in my purse.
Okay. You mind if I go ahead and, you mind if I grab that real quick?
I don't care. It's the pink and purse.
The pink one? Oh, my bad. Okay. I got you.
So it's, can you see that tag in front of you? APX55X. So APX55Y is the one stolen. So it's not yours. You flagged one of our cameras, and so that's why we stopped you, because we thought it was the other place. So give me 1 second, I'll get you out of cuffs. Okay, boss.
And by the way, all you have to do is manufacture. You could get word that someone's headed your way, and you could just wait for them. You can get alerts and watch where a vehicle's going and make up some excuse. Start shaking people down. If you're on a list. You know.
Here, all in.
She was arrested. Okay, I take that back.
Is it your car? Okay. So your car flagged on some of our modern technology.
So do I need to contact somebody about it? Or?
No,
okay.
Your plate is not stolen. It's 1 letter off.
It's 1 letter off. Yeah, I'm going to need you to write me a note. Call this department at this number and ask for supervisor or sergeant so-and-so. This is mistaken identity. You hear about people getting harassed multiple times because they don't fix the glitches.
Okay.
And by the way, the glitches, I mean, it's kind of working. It's kind of doing its job, and the noose is tightening ever so tightly around your throat.
And the camera rope.
Yep, that gave me a heart attack. Right?
Yeah, sorry about that.
I knew it was my vehicle.
So it's, the first 5 are correct, the last digit's the only one that's off.
Oh, okay.
Those cameras, they're placed everywhere, and they hit license plates, and they'll flag, but I'm not going to say they're.
I just want to drive and be left alone. I don't want to be tracked and traced everywhere I'm going.
Completely perfect, because that's modern
I
technology.
got you. I got you.
I don't know if AI or whatever, but
Okay,
especially if y'all got a license plate thing, sometimes if a camera hits it at an angle or something, it might block it, and then
I got you. Okay, well, we good?
y'all are good.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry about that, guys.
Ah, that's a good point. So they didn't double check the license plate with their eyes? Huh. Couldn't they have just...
Guys, have a good night. Hey, driver. Hey, put your hands up and walk back to me.
All right, well, coming to a roadway near you, people. Coming to a roadway near you. Yippee, huh? Yippee.
Centra Technology.
Mike Benz talking CIA.
Centra Technology Inc., the leader of a growing industry of beltway intermediate.
Oh, they got a lot of music in this one. This is basically how the CIA runs fake academic conferences.
Intermediaries. Cutout.
Cutouts. 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 Cutouts.
Supplies Centra with fund.
Supplies Centra.
Fight. Centra has received more than $200 million in government.
I got weird music back here. Yep, sounds like more money laundering to me, says a commenter. Cutouts. Money laundering. Facades. Yeah. Sorry, the music was weird, so I'm going to move on. Ah, no, this is not good. 56-year-old Frederick. Daniel Concannon brings this story. Let me double check that this is an accurate story. 56-year-old Frederick Lighton fatally essed by his 23-year-old co-worker Devin Rice in a West Nashville U-Haul on August 4th over an argument over a drink. Verbal dispute. Lighton walked away and returned toward his workstation. Rice approached him from behind and essed him multiple times with his G. Counts describe S's into his back. Rice then put the G away, picked up his bag and backpack, and left the facility. Lighton went to Vanderbilt Medical, where he passed away. They argued over a drink, and then he shot him. Criminal homicide. It's been a week since this black-on-white murder, and as usual, zero national coverage. To away this father of two, this husband, over what, a drink? Zero outlets are publishing the victim's photograph. Only one type of crime in America will be pushed out on the lying legacy media, the divisive, Marxist, deep state, divisive garbage media. Anything that makes Whitey look bad, that's usually a good place to start. Why isn't there equal outrage given? To stories. It's interesting. I hadn't even heard of this story until today. And now you've heard about it. Nashville U-Haul. I want more info about the dispute over the drink. Okay. Prayers to the family and shame on that loser for doing that. Okay. We've talked about this owning thing. You'll own nothing and like it. I want a hamburger. I want a cheeseburger. You'll have nothing and like it. So what is this here? A man was refused a refund after his digital copy of Lord of the Rings movies disappeared from his library. Company confirmed the movies were removed from its catalog, but said he would not be compensated. So the response to that, what do you think? Mallcat says, repeat after me. If buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing. Let me see if this is true, because we reported on this for video games. Now we're hearing about Lord of the Rings trilogies are disappearing from a library that you've purchased. We need physical copies, people. We absolutely need physical copies. And we need books. Yeah, widely reported, early to mid-August 26. You going down Saka 1 is the TV customer. Lord of the Rings Extended Edition Trilogy purchased in 2022 vanished from digital library. Screenshots support that chat circulated showing an agent confirming the titles removed from the catalog and stating a refund was not possible because the purchase fell outside of Google's standard 120-day refund window. That's insane. And by the way, it's insane that they're rotating through stuff on Amazon and Netflix. Just, it's one library of footage. I want all the TV. I want all the movies. And I just want to watch things that I feel like watching. It's a Blockbuster. I have a monthly membership. When I decide to click on your streaming service, just let me watch from the Library of Alexandria. If it was released, I want to be able to watch it. This is not rocket science. And it shouldn't be, oh, coming soon, leaving soon. Oh, you bought this, but now you don't have it. We're taking it away. Well, no, that's called renting. It's not a purchase then. That needs to be remedied. But we need physical media. We need books. I'm telling you, people. But yeah, if buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing. Crazy story. Please make sure you're not ending up in the middle of that. Try to get some actual copies of the important stuff. Nick Shirley reveals it's getting dangerous for him to stay at hotels because of the doxing and the K-ing plots. He says the date is coming up when someone planned an assassination attempt on him. He's had D threats, and one of them was even very specific about the date. It's actually supposed to be coming up very soon, the date they said they'd K me. Guys, we got to stamp out this domestic terrorism. You know where it's coming from. Okay. Now, what is this? A Bush White House spokesman drops this bomb on CNN that nobody saw coming. It's about Barack Obama. Take a listen to this. Did you catch this?
In Arizona, he hired the ninjas. What were they called?
Yeah. The cyber ninjas.
The cyber ninjas.
I'll give you an example of where it has been determinative, and that's in my home state of Indiana, St. Joseph County. The gentleman you previously worked for, David Axelrod, Barack Obama, got on the ballot because Democrats in that county submitted fraudulent ballot petition signatures. People, including the Democrat county chair, went to jail over that. Barack Obama should not have been on the primary ballot in the state of Indiana.
But that's not a voting. That's not a voting issue.
But that's not a voting issue. Yes. It is signature verification, inability to validate and confirm that people are real people, to cross voting thresholds to get put on ballots. You're damn right that's balloting. You're damn right that's voting. What a goofball thing to try to say there, that that's not voting. Of course it is. It's one of the top 10 problems with how we handle voting at this moment. If there was a mechanism to check that all those people were legit, and if someone was actually ever checking, maybe it should have never happened. Maybe we would have been spared. My God, could you imagine what we would have been spared?
Like, that's something.
Well, it is a voting issue because he was on the ballot and people could vote for him, and he shouldn't have been.
That's not a Save America Act issue, though. That's not a, they're stealing the elections, illegals are voting. That's an Indiana issue because Indiana is the one that determines who's on their ballots.
How did that get determined?
How did that get determined? It was finally
Yeah, and by the way, Well, how were you able to find that out? I want to know so we don't get in trouble. We got to change our tactics a little. How'd you find that out again? The problem is, once an illegal vote is cast, it's very hard to undo that. You saw the courts, none of them were willing to step up and hear the President Trump case in 2020. Almost every, well, I don't know if almost every, but judge after judge after judge after courtroom were saying there's no standing to bring this trial here. Kenneth, that's a good point. Nick Shirley will run for office one day. Maybe. Yeah. And like I've said before, Rob's bringing it up. It's interesting. It'd be interesting to know who's behind Nick Shirley, who is kind of coaching him, guiding him, funding him, leading him. Maybe nobody, but I don't think nobody's get access to the Bukele Supermax prison. And yeah, Nick Shirley came out of nowhere and he's everywhere now, which happens, you know, every year or two, whether it's baseball, basketball, or football, or country music, or WWE wrestling, a big name or a couple of big names pop up. And they take the world by storm. There's nothing new to that. But yeah, I wonder who's on the Nick Shirley team along with you, Rob. Yeah, how was that determined? That there were ineligible votes that were cast for Barack Obama that were counted for Barack Obama, if that is his real name.
Exposed 2 years later, it went through the courts, and several people found.
Yeah, by the way, that was Adam Kinzinger who says, but that's not a voting issue. Adam Kinzinger of the unselect committee of traitors that tried to frame President Trump for the Fedsurrection for the mostly peaceful protest on January 6th. Remember that? You weren't allowed to talk about that either. By the way, go check out episode 2 of Fall of the Boogaloo. It was pretty cool. Checked it out. One of our still images is used on the thumbnail for one of the advertisements to the project. We license footage through News to Share. And yours truly is listed as a security consultant for the series. I'm glad that some of my footage made it in. I was happy to watch some of the early versions and offer some sorts of feedback for whatever that was worth. And then, yeah, there was a particularly potentially dicey situation that the documentarian was going to find himself in. So we came up with a plan. Should things go sideways, let's have something in place as a plan. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that security consultant credit for Fall of the Boogaloo. Every Tuesday, a new episode is dropping on News to Share. Go check it out on YouTube. And if you scroll back on our X account, you'll probably see our stuff there. Kenneth saying we need an Engelman Wally ticket. Well, you got to spell my last name right first. Who's this Engelman of which you speak? Kenneth. Shirley, he's connected. Oh, he's connected. And don't call me Shirley.
Found themselves in jail.
Finally.
But that's the problem. It didn't happen. They didn't find it.
They didn't catch it when it happened. And then by the time you realize it, the damage is done. That's Save America Act.
Before he was on the ballot, but years after.
Do you? In Arizona, he hired.
There you go. So.
In Arizona, he hired the.
There's that. Let me go forward.
In Arizona, he hired the.
Hold on.
In Arizona, he hired the.
All right, I know about Arizona. Let's keep it moving. All right, terrifying new footage out of Choco, Colombia. On this farm, the ground splits open. Okay, new fear unlocked.
¡Saca toda la calle, güey!
Señor Jesucristo, por Dios.
Like right there, that's the edge of the earth.
Señor Jesús. Cristo Santo.
Okay. Well, continued prayers. Be safe out there. Renzo says this. This is fair. I like this. I think a lot of the Democrat supporters who are leaving the Democrat Party and trying out the socialists, it's because of crap like this. You can't have too much like this before a lot of people are like, you know what? Throw it all out. You know what? Let's start from total scratch. I don't care. This isn't working. I'll try anything different. You do not need a desperate. No, we don't need to do Brian and Blake 2028. But that also it almost has a ring to it. Brian and Blake 2028. I like Engelman and Wally. But this right here, this post, if you want to know why so many people who were kind of going to be Democrat, now they're going to vote for the socialists, which are Democrats taking their mask off. Renzo says, look, nobody talks about how utilities are no longer regulated. Your electric bill's doubled, hasn't it? Mine has. Your water bill tripled, right? And there's nothing you can do because it's a private monopoly. They privatized the public good, eliminated competition, and now they charge whatever they want. And fewer people have skin in the game. And the ones that are in the game are getting squeezed pretty hard. And you end up getting people popping over to the socialist side. It's a very dangerous time. Topher Mandel talking about it as well. The fact that a burrito that I paid $14 for 3 summers ago now costs $26 is 30% smaller and 40% less delicious and this is an absolutely unhinged reality to be living through. I don't think we're nearly outraged enough. Right? I mean, 2 people at Taco Bell, $47, $57, $60. You're going, huh? What? What? How? But yeah, the $20 burrito debate rages on. But the quality's gone down. The prices have gone up. The purchase power of the dollar has gone down. It's with elections, it's the economy, stupid. I scrolled past my buddy complaining about $4 gas. He's about had it. He's like, I've supported President Trump, but this is some bullshit. He goes, you know how much money I'm wasting in this every single week? He's like, I get angry every time I fill up my tank. And he's not the only one. Potentially very bad timing unless we can wrap it up with Iran. Ortho refuses to be subjected to fast food scams. Yeah, look, I was out and about recently, and I had provisions with me. I brought some grub in case I decided that I wanted something. Turns out I did not, and then I brought it back. And there was a group. There was a group going to a local place. Sounded fun. Didn't feel like partaking. And it's like, at least I know the ingredients I'll get when I'm at home. That's a real thing. But yeah, sometimes you're out and about. And you got to try to eat something. Dina says seeing the Earth's crust move like that in Colombia is very freaky. Yes, it is. Could happen so many places with no notice. How does it feel reading that they knew it caused a miscarriage rate of 82%?
Until that midnight ride.
Okay. Guess I'm going to take a look in the old cabinet. No. Strictly satire to make a point. The actual spontaneous abortion rate would then be 82%, defined as occurring before 20 weeks. The actual was 104 of 127, 82%. Okay. Let's read this comment and see if we can get the Dr. Austin Lake says, Dr. James Thorpe, OBGYN, published an open letter to the American Board of Obstetrics and Gynecology with the following critique of the Shimabukuro et al. June 17, 2021 paper published in New England Journal of Medicine. He argued that because 700 of the 827 pregnant women in the study received their COVID-19 injection in the third trimester after 28 weeks, those 700 should be excluded from the denominator used to calculate a 12.6% spontaneous abortion rate. That would be 104 of 827, defined as occurring before 20 weeks. The actual spontaneous abortion rate would then be 82%, 104 of 127. So 700 of the 827 pregnant women in the study got their COVID injection in the third trimester. But that's how you sneakily take statistics. They're lies, damn lies, and statistics. If you're talking about first trimester, miscarriages, abortions, and you're going to count 700 other people after the third trimester, second trimester. What do they? How do they phrase that? In the third trimester. That is knowingly and intentionally deceiving us. Knowingly and intentionally deceiving us. Dina says doctors broke their own rules on immunizations of pregnant women. In many cases, there was pressure to do so. My sweet Idaho Life posted this. I thought it was interesting. Someone said all these cameras are so they can watch it all unfold. Watch us turn on each other like some real-life Hunger Games while they sit safely underground. And now, unfortunately, I can't stop thinking about it. Are you prepared? This is making the rounds. Proud Republicans shared this. Stunning found footage shows Ugandan Mamdani admitting his plan to manipulate white leftists into electing Islamists in his third world accent. You need someone to, it's covered up by this, someone to be a validator. Tell them to trust us.
With the interesting thing about our communities here is I think that minority communities, because we have never had representation, we are tied much more to identity. White communities, they've had representation forever. And so for them, their tie is a little less identity and a little more ideology. And so what I mean by that is we have a lot of voters here who think of themselves first as progressive voters. And so we reach out to them speaking about our platform, our progressive platform. And you're very right that you need someone in the middle to be a validator, someone to tell them to trust us, believe in us. We've had that with Tiffany Caban and Cynthia Nixon.
You need someone to be a validator. Tell them to trust us. We need someone to open up the door. We need, like George Floyd. Didn't he knock on the door and he was dressed up like a utility guy or a cable guy or something? and they kicked in the door. You need someone to validate us and go, no, he's a progressive. You'll like him. Vote for him. Is he a wolf in sheep's clothing? Is he misrepresenting who he is? Well, New York is finding out. And is that the future of the Democrat Party? We shall see. Okay. AF is reporting this. Let me check. Lauren Boebert's son. The story that AF Post News put here is that Representative Lauren Boebert's son Tyler has been arrested on child exploitation charges for making a tape with his then girlfriend, age 17. It's real. Okay, he's 21 now. When Tyler was 18 and the other person involved was 17. Affidavits describe a explicit video they called CSAM. Posted a bond, released that day. Oh, he had prior legal issues, vehicle theft or trespass, and later child abuse-related citations involving his own young son. Separate set of charges, though. But apparently the tape was made 2 weeks before her 18th birthday, when he was 18. Isn't there some sort of Romeo and Juliet? Legally? Like if the two kids are going to the same high school, like they're in the same... Okay, so many states, including Colorado, have Romeo and Juliet close in age exemptions, but they're limited to and do not automatically apply to every situation involving a 17 and 18-year-old, especially when video recording or distribution is involved. Creating a narrow exception or reduced penalty for consensual activity between two people who are close in age, commonly within 2 to 4 years. There you go. Yeah, a freshman and a senior, which is a large age gap, but it changes if the production or possession of images or videos occur. But why would that be different regarding the Romeo and Juliet thing then? Cases where the underage person is significantly younger. Now, wait a second. Colorado's age of consent is 17. I'm trying to figure this out here. So if consent in Colorado is 17, why the arrest? Because then if they're 2 weeks of 18 and your age of consent is 17, they're for exploitation of a child's statuses that treat anyone under 18 as a minor for purposes of visual depictions. Wow, this is... I mean, was there intent to distribute? Did it get uploaded on some website or something? Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to learn about this at the same time because I was like, I thought high school age people are... Yeah, it seems like, Hizzy, that just making the video made it like that turned it into an unforgivable thing. You're allowed to do it, and she's allowed to consent to it at 17, but you can't film it. So you can do it, but not film it. Ask but don't tell. Okay, well, that's happening with Lauren Boebert, in case you were curious. Now it's got me thinking about Boebert, because she was pretty popular for a minute, and then she was sort of on the outs. She hasn't quite gotten wrapped up in the Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, Tucker Carlson thing. Her current term ends January 3rd of 27. She won the Republican primary unopposed, re-election against Democrat Eileen LaBoucher. District is rated solid Republican by major nonpartisan analysts. Okay. I'm going to follow this story. It's kind of weird. And it adds another layer of complexity when Grok is saying, or Grok AI is saying that 17 is consensual. So if you're 17 and you consent, but you don't consent, then you can't consent. That's a legal contradiction that you really can't get around. If the age of consent is 17 in Colorado, if Grok is explaining that correctly, then I'm very curious how this is going to how this will plea out. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense of it. Where else can you consent to something, but you're not really consenting? Either you do or you don't. You can't be kind of pregnant. The eggs are kind of scrambled. No, the eggs are scrambled, or you're pregnant. The egg's been fertilized. Everything involves an egg. Do or do not, but use an egg. Whoa. Okay. Try that again. Polymarket reports that the Trump administration has ended Medicaid funding for sex change procedures for minors. You can't change your sex, including puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries. Okay. Why was Medicaid paying for sex change procedures for minors? Why was it paying for sex changes anyway? Or sex changes for minors, or puberty blockers, or hormones, or sex surgeries? The meme is Vince McMahon saying, "You know why." I don't know why. Why was this a thing? Why was this suddenly an obsession? AF Post News says that President Trump reduces the vaccine schedule from 72 to 11 core diseases. A nearly 85% reduction in vaccine load. That's spelled wrong. Calling it a big win for MAGA.
On establishing gold standard vaccine recommendations, sir, is...
By the way, the girl in the back, this one, there's always a girl in the back of these videos. And then there's also me, Bobby Kennedy, standing behind President Trump's his left shoulder here. It's truly a glorious day for the MAGA movement. We've come a long way, and we still have plenty of room to grow. But today was like Ice Cube famously said, I gotta say it was a good day.
Previous speaker.
But the question is, the girl in the back there, is this a robot? Ortho, don't spoil this for me. Don't spoil this for me with any of your data. But here, is this a robot or a person?
Speakers have indicated this is going to establish essentially a new vaccine schedule that is fully informed by the research and data that we have from HHS and NIH and other aspects of the government. It also takes a very hard line on some of the more paternalistic issues that we've been talking about here, sir, in terms of infringing on parents' religious liberty or really just parents' ability to make decisions for their children. So as Heidi said, this is a very big deal. We're not waiting for anyone else to take action, as you do so often, sir. We're just going ahead and doing the right thing based on all of the best available research to ensure that America's parents and children are being as best protected by the federal government as they can be.
Very good. Thank you very much.
This is your executive order.
I guess we didn't need all of that. That giant magic marker. Yeah, that girl in the back, people wondered, was she
on establishing gold standard vaccine recommendations?
I mean, just looking at it right there, that looks like that could be a mannequin. This may even be called mannequin pose. Like, what is the hand even doing over the belt?
Recommendation, sir, is
return to home. This is where my wireless charging system.
Previous speakers have indicated this is going to establish essentially a new vaccine schedule.
All right. Ortho says that's a page. She's a regular page out of a book, see? Some kind of a page. She's a clanker. What is that from? She's a clanker. It's probably been used in a lot of places. No, I did not see video of her in high speed, but if you have it, tag us at American_media_. But there you go. Universal recommendations now cover 11 illnesses: measles, mumps, rubella, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, polio, HIV, pneumococcal disease, HPV, varicella, down from previous baseline guidelines. Hey, everybody, we got some TNAM trash pandas. Hizzy, you're not on the roster yet. If you become a regular, you may become a regular. You may get a trash panda illustration. You might join our TNAM trash panda softball team. I don't know what this man on the street interview is, but the second part's great.
He is a gay, gender fluid, golden retriever Afghan hound mix.
Did you catch all that? Well, that's the dog's mix. I assume that's AI, but it could be a real video.
This is Lockheed Martin. We call him Martin for short. He is sexist, racist, and homophobic. He's a straight white male, and his favorite pastimes are war crimes and golf.
War crimes and golf. I feel like this dude was describing most of the people on the TNAM Trash Pandas softball team. Look at this little raccoon. Getting its belly rubbed. Little Lockheed Martin. Anyway, if you know, you know. Because we're the Trash Pandas. That's what we do. Oh, this is so good. So, how do you think Americans are looking at those flock cameras these days? Yeah, every time you drive past anything with a little solar panel on it now. Anything with a little camera. Anybody start taking it personal? Start kind of feeling some kind of way about this? Yeah, Americans are looking at flock cameras like Tanya Harding is looking at Nancy Kerrigan's knee. All right, Arn is heading into town. Over and out. Thanks for dropping in, Arn. Kenneth says that last video was pandemonium. It was pure pandemonium. Dina says the fingers on that last lady look like they belong to a robot. I know. Mannequins in the UK are being arrested for indecency. Shop owners very upset. I've seen posts about chainmail you have to put on sheep and goats now because they're getting literally abused. Yeah, I don't even want to think if that story is true or not because it's horrific. It's so horrific. But yeah, Americans are looking at flock cameras like Tanya Harding looking at Nancy Kerrigan's knee. Geraldine Brennan says, a surprising amount of adulthood is realizing the rules were just some shit somebody made up. You know, I figured out something a while ago, probably, I might have had it figured out before college, but I definitely figured it out in college. Just because somebody is currently in a position, it doesn't mean they're capable, doesn't mean they're qualified, it doesn't mean they're better than you. It just means that they're temporarily in that spot. Period. I mean, when we go for things, Mike Lindell went for the governor's spot or for the Senate spot. What was the, let me give you the updates. Big primary wins and losses yesterday. You know, Mike Lindell went for it. He was Trump supported, but he didn't win. Michelle Tafoya, she won, sportscaster, Minnesota. You got to go for it. Just because somebody's in a position doesn't mean they're any good at it. Senate Democrat Peggy Flanagan defeated Angie Craig, advancing to face Republican Michelle Tafoya in November for the open seat of retiring Senator Tina Smith. They think Flanagan will run away with it, but let's hope not. Republican Governor, State House Speaker Lisa DeMuth defeated Trump-endorsed MyPillow founder Mike Lindell, a notable setback for the endorsement. DeMuth will face Senator Amy Klobuchar in the general. They think she will win in a landslide. Let's hope not. Milwaukee, David Crowley, establishment-backed, narrowly defeats progressive Democrat Socialist State Rep Francesca Hong, the one that hates Thanksgiving and hates American holidays, and she seems to be sort of racist against her mixed-race kid, some people say. I don't know. Republican Tom Tiffany will battle David Crowley in November. Tom Tiffany won easily. Would it have been easier to defeat Hong? And did they rig the primary against her? There's a lot of accusations. I'll be curious to follow the story. That really could be the rigging system, snake eating its own tail. We'll see. Hartford Mayor Luke Bronin ousted longtime incumbent John Larson. Significant progressive challenger upset of a veteran Democrat in Connecticut. South Carolina Senate primary. Lindsey Graham's seat is headed to a runoff. Most incumbents held on, with additional progressive successes in Minnesota House races and standard advancements in Vermont and other contests. Themes of the night: progressive strength in Minnesota's statewide races, a moderate establishment edge in Wisconsin's Democrat governor primary, a clear loss for high-profile Trump endorsement Lindell, and another House incumbent defeat on the Democrat side. Results are still being finalized in some close races, though, so stay tuned. Yeah, the rules are just made up by somebody, just some stuff somebody made up. The more people realize that, the more people say, hey, let's try something new. And some people say, hey, let's try communism. And you go, no communism, no socialism, no Marxism. This is not the way. Not the way. H-1B visas, are these the way?
Map of H-1B workers currently registered in America. What do you notice about this map?
They are trying so hard to turn Texas blue. If Texas falls, America's probably done.
All in Texas. Look at this. In Irving, Texas, several H-1B employees were found to be working at a software development company.
Oh, that's, well, I mean, you know, they need high-level people for the software development company in Irving, Texas, right?
Which, is a 7-Eleven.
Oh, wait, it's a 7-Eleven, though.
This is an organized thing. Indian consulting firms run by American Indians are bringing in Indian workers on H-1B, then using Indian attorneys to game the system.
What is America if not a set of rules? A set of rules that can be exploited if this is what you want. Do we want more Americans determining what America's future is going to be? Or more and more and more people from other places to come in and, in many cases, get an opportunity to vote? Yeah, but you can't prove it until after the fact, in which case then it doesn't matter.
Several companies have been reporting they'll hire a senior developer, a senior HR, whatever, like a supposedly high-level guy. He comes in, he barely speaks any English and doesn't know how to do the job. They're scamming us. This is a civilization.
Now there's music in the back. Says there's a civilizational scam. One company, Cognizant, he says, supposedly, this is Will Sexton, IG. A staffing firm, 56% of their workers are Indian and from Canada. Indians in Canada, they're not even coming from India. So, that's happening. Just thought you should know. So this is a squared round table debate. Blair White is here on the top right. That is a dude that dresses and presents as a lady named Blair White. Having a debate about guys who are choosing to identify as ladies, participating in ladies' sports, going into ladies' locker rooms, and going into ladies' bathrooms.
Exactly does it mean to be a biological man or biological woman? Because there are tons of people. 1 in 20 people are intersex. Also, too, 10 to 30% of the population has PCOS. You are making mountains out of molehills and supposing something that does not exist and is not reality.
Girl, if anyone is making a mountain out of a molehill, it's people like you two, the two women on the panel, who are turning trans sports into a civil rights issue, into some sort of like Martin Luther King crusade. And I just have to ask, because it's just so weird to me, and I'm a trans person saying this, why is this you guys fight? There are so many trans people. All you have to do is go online. There are so many trans people just like myself who don't want this, because all it does is serve optics that are horrible for the trans community. It takes away opportunities from biological women, and it makes trans women look crazy. And it's a problem that you guys are sticking your feet into this, because I can tell you right now, maybe you've never met a trans person who actually wants you to please stop. But I will say, please stop. No one with any sense in my community wants this. Not one person. You guys want it more than us.
What exactly does it mean to be a biological man or?
So Blair is making sense. I can't believe we have to keep having these conversations, but here we are.
What exactly does it mean in the result?
So Milwaukee, what happened after midnight? What were 5 USB sticks doing? What about the election results? Human error, socialist, Real State of America put this little clip on. Is this the snake eating its own tail?
Results. What we uncovered was that 5 of the sticks had the audit log downloaded and not the results.
Oh, so you mean the election isn't really an election until we? Let me make sure. Hold on, let me take a look. Oh, turns out
Human error.
Human error. Well, I mean, we're only human, right?
These things can happen. So basically what we need to do is go back to the operations center and we're going to download out of those 5 machines the results and make sure that's not the audit log. So we have the reports printed from the first download. We're going to reprint and start the process so that we can.
And that was 40% to 39.5%.
Compare those results. We invite you to come join us. Milwaukee Police Department will come with us too. And so we'll re-download those results and then send them back here to be uploaded.
5 machines are at issue?
Correct. Not the machines, the sticks. So the download process was the audit log was downloaded, not the results.
The audit log was downloaded, not the results. 5 USB sticks.
9.
And so you will only be reviewing those 5 sticks.
Correct.
But we can't know all of the results, and we can't see these 4 sticks worth of results that were done correctly.
Can you? And the
Well, you'd love to see it, you know? You hate to see it, but you love it.
And the results.
My predecessors,
Oh, okay, this is a good point. We're going to hit you with these 2 stories and wrap it up for the TNAM PM show. I think we'll plan on being back tomorrow at noon Eastern time. Tomorrow, noon Eastern time. Final call. 2 stories left on the docket. I'm going to be clocking out. Here's your tab. It's $0 and free cents, but it does have a tip line at the bottom. If you haven't yet, please consider becoming a monthly sponsor on Patreon, Rumble, or YouTube at The New American Media. You can drop a Rumble rant tip or a super chat tip into the tip jar. Just kind of toss a little silver coin, make that clanking noise. You can keep throwing them. They can make as much noise as you want. Make it hail. I'm going to make it rain. No, make it hail, as long as that's silver. Thank you for being here. Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal all scrolling at the bottom of the screen as well. Rob says they should already know no one believes a word out of their mouths. Oh, yeah, that was a press conference. They know what they were... They know what they were walking up there to do. They were going to take, I don't know if they took ample heat. It seemed kind of there was a little bit of pushback, but not enough, I don't think. Anyway, here's Bobby Kennedy talking about the fraud efforts that have changed at Health and Human Services now.
my predecessor, Xavier Becerra, when he came into my agency, there were only 80 people in program integrity, 80 people. This is for 50 states and 5 territories. These are the people who are monitoring $2.2 trillion in payments annually from my agency. We do 4 million transactions a day. There's only 80 people looking at those. Xavier Becerra came in and transferred 76 of them out. So that when I came in, there's only 6 people who are in charge of all program integrity for my department. And it was an invitation for the fraudsters to come in and steal everything. And that's why we have this hospice program. We've closed thousands of hospices here in Los Angeles.
Thousands of Los Angeles hospices closed. Nobody was checking. Nobody was checking. Speaking of check-in, I'm checking the chat and I see a super chat. Elbow off the top rope. Thank you, Kenneth. $10 super chat. A tip for the rabbi, he says. Ayo! Kenneth throwing a $10 super chat tip into the tip jar. Thank you, sir. Always appreciated. Yes, I did say noon. I may have stuttered. But yeah, I will try to go live tomorrow at noon is the game plan for tomorrow. Trying out an evening show, an early evening show, early evening. But yeah, Bobby Kennedy's been shutting down a ton of fraud because they wanted the fraud. The more people they can put on their criminal payroll, the more people that owe them favors. And you're just putting your fish hooks into all of the fish. I got you. I did a favor for you. The least you could do is do a favor for me. That's how you end up getting your country stolen.
Because they didn't have patience. They were just billing us $6,000 a month for phony accounts. And
so why haven't they all gone to jail? We've seen some, but why aren't way more people going to jail?
the durable medical equipment fraud, tens of billions of dollars here in Los Angeles County. Autism services,
Tens of billions of dollars in Los Angeles County?
tens of billions of dollars, all stolen because nobody was minding the store. Xavier Becerra came in and he instituted a program called Pay and Chase. What that means is when we get an invoice from a hospice that we know is fraudulent, we know that hospice is not treating patients. They've been busted before. We have algorithms that can identify that this is almost certainly a fraudulent case. His policy was you pay them and then you chase it. You go back and try to claw it back, which of course never happens. This was
just like once a fake vote is cast. Yeah, good luck undoing a fake vote. Just slip it past the goalie and we're good. We're far from good.
an insane policy. We shut that down. My predecessors.
And they shut it down, and I'm very appreciative.
My predecessors.
Very appreciative of that. Actually, that was the story that I was going to wrap on. Yeah, there's a lot of other news. The Patriot games happened in Ohio. Let me see the, just real quick. With President Trump. Trump urges Senate to make daylight savings time permanent. AI memes show Rubio as a blonde press secretary. Carolyn Levitt is stepping down. SPLC official, former SPLC official Heidi Bayerich arrested on fraud. Oh boy. Declassified files reveal FBI labeled Biden warnings as Russian disinformation. Fauci texts raised private miscarriage concerns on COVID vaccines in 2021. And of course, only 10 House Democrats signed the capitalism pledge, fueling party shift talk. Patriot games. Ohio is thriving. President Trump at the Patriot games. Let me pull up a visual. One last story, one last thing. I was hoping this would get more attention. Sounded interesting. I'll mute it. I don't know what channels this is on. Marco Rubio says we need to figure out what the hell is secretly flying over our military bases. Then in the same breath admits his talking point is sometimes used as a distractionary tactic. It's a weird word. But promises if Trump knew anything, he would have already had a national public address if aliens were among us. Okay, what an odd thing to say. American high school athletes got to compete in the Patriot Games, $250,000 in prizes. Kids competing for their state. CNN freaked out and said the kids were overwhelmingly white and many went to private Christian schools. These are supposedly the best athletes from every state and they all happen to be white. I don't know about that, he says. Okay. Compared it to Hunger Games, mocking the dodgeball and tug of war and claimed it felt like a Trump rally. Only CNN looks at American kids competing and sees a racial conspiracy. CNN is garbage. I had a blast celebrating high schoolers from across the country with the heads of Disney, ABC, ESPN, and the United States of America. Pat McAfee, one of the biggest names in sports. That's interesting because ABC, ESPN, Disney has been at the front lines of woke for a long time. Pat McAfee is proud of all parties getting behind this important initiative to keep future generations excited about remaining active. Cheers to the incredible contestants and to next year's Patriot Games. 2 million views. Okay. So that's something that happened as well. There's always 100 things I could talk about. I could do an 8-hour marathon easy. I shall never run out of things to talk about. But if you have things you want me to talk about, tag us on X at American_media_. Hit the thumbs up button, share the show with a friend, share it on X. If you don't have an Instagram page, start an Instagram page just to follow the New American Media. Yeah, I mean that. Same with Rumble. If you don't have a Rumble account, start a Rumble account and please just follow us. It is a very good platform. We are very YouTube heavy. Dina, Ortho, Rob, Kenneth, going on up. Just looking at the screen in front of me. Like, everybody's here on YouTube. We need you on multiple platforms. Because one day, YouTube might go ahead and pull a YouTube again. They made me sign a new, a revised, what did they call it? Monetization agreement. You're like, it is what it is. You're forcing me to do this. All right. We'll see how things change. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. Maybe I missed the big, maybe I was tricked or duped into something, but they said by January, you have to sign up or else we're going to take it away again. And I'm like, you took away my monetization for 5 years. Thank you very much, Google, YouTube. I would rather not trust you with that again. So anyway, that is my request. Follow us on all the platforms. And if you have stories, share them on X at American_media_. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here at today's special time. Very happy that you could come today. And look, we got all this night left to us. We have all this extra time. B. McCormick says, what's up, dude? Late show tonight. Cool. Yes, you showed up just in time for me to close tonight's program. We gave you roughly the exact same show we would have given you at noon. But then again, I probably have another 30 different stories on our X platform that we can get to tomorrow. This was just off our Instagram feed. But I love finding out what's going on. I love it. I love talking about it, learning about it, fact-checking it. I love reading your jokes. It's the best. Best part of the day. The best part of waking up. All right, everybody. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe, including all of you wonderful trash pandas. I appreciate you. I love you. And we shall talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.